I'm so happy you're here today. And we are going to talk about a topic that I deal with every day, a topic that I love to normalize. And today I'm going to be sharing with you how to feel happy while dealing with self-doubt. How can you feel happy when dealing with self-doubt? You might be thinking, how is that even possible? Well, I'm here to tell you it absolutely is. And I'm going to be sharing with you something that you can apply right now to your life. That's going to give you a hand with that. But let's first reel it back. So one of the biggest things, and one of the biggest reasons I'm doing this is episode number 2, is that self-doubt is something that really holds us back. It holds me back from things. It holds you back. It holds my clients back. It holds everyone back from really feeling happy. And we're going to talk about why it does that. And we're going to talk about where it comes from. But before we do that, I want to tell you that not even if you are facing self-doubt, because I know for a fact we all face it. I'm here to tell you that self-doubt is something that everyone feels. Absolutely everyone at some point in their day, in their week, in their month, for sure, obviously in their life, feels self-doubt. Now, when I'm talking about self-doubt, I'm talking about negative self-talk, putting yourself down. Now, I want to talk first about where it comes from. So now I'm normalizing it. It's important for me to normalize it because you may think, maybe you're listening now and you're like, oh, Jane doesn't have any self-doubt. No, she's confident. Oh, my next door neighbor, my best friend, whoever, some celebrity that you're seeing on social media, they don't have self-doubt. No way. Well, yeah, they do. They do. That's what I'm telling you. So let's talk about where self-doubt comes from. Where do you think it comes from? It comes from your mind. Self-doubt is created in your mind. And guess what? You create it. That can be kind of a harsh thing to really acknowledge. Because if you're letting self-doubt rule your life, well, you're allowing your negative thoughts to rule your life. So when it comes to self-doubt, it is created in your mind. You do create it. And there's many different ways that it can come up. You might be stepping outside of your comfort zone, trying something new, becoming someone you're not. So stepping into your next level. And I want you to know that self-doubt doesn't need to be a bad thing. I actually see self-doubt. I mean, in the moment, it doesn't feel great, and we'll get into that. But self-doubt actually might mean if you're stepping outside your comfort zone, that means you're looking to grow. That if you're trying to become someone that you're not right now and step into that next level, you are growing. So if you're feeling self-doubt, that's almost like a little light telling you, like a little beacon saying, like, you're doing something new. Keep going. You can, keep going. But let's touch first on like really why it holds you back. So why does self-doubt, why does it hold you back and how does it manifest in the mind? I want to share some examples that I've either felt at one point in my life or that I hear from my clients every time I'm having calls with them. So some examples of doubtful thoughts. I'm not good enough. I'm not successful. I'm not worthy of what I want. It's going to be too hard. So you can see here, these thoughts are obviously negative. Self-doubt is directly aligned with negative self-talk. So they're negative. I'm not, I can't. So these are examples of some thoughts you may have. Now, I explained in episode 1 how the mind works. So if you have a thought, your thought is going to lead to a feeling. So your thoughts lead to feelings. So if you are thinking that you're not good enough, or you're not worthy, or it's going to be too hard to live a happy life, well, how do you think you're going to be feeling? Unmotivated, maybe? Overwhelmed? Anxious? Lack of confidence? Maybe you feel like you're floating through life. You're just cruising. You're on cruise control. And if you recall from episode 1, you have a thought, it leads to a feeling, and you act based on how you feel. So if you're feeling unhappy, overwhelmed, anxious, unmotivated, well, what are you going to do? Chances are you're not going to go for what you want. Why would you? You're feeling that way. You're unmotivated. Why would you go for what you want? You may dim your light, reduce your voice, lower your voice, hold back. I like this one. Judge others. I mean, I don't like it, but it's so true. When you see other people who have what you want, oftentimes our first thing we do is we judge them. We judge them for it because that's what we want. And deep down, we might be a little resentful, jealous. Some other things that may come from you feeling those more unhappy, overwhelmed, floating through life. You procrastinate and you make excuses. So what do? What can you do? You've got self-doubt. You're like, yeah, Jane, thanks. Got self-doubt. I'm feeling it. And I'm here to tell you that I feel it too. I have doubtful thoughts that creep into my mind, especially starting my business. Now starting this amazing podcast, which I'm so excited about, but I often, little things creep into my mind. They just come up. They come up. But here's the thing. Awareness is the greatest agent for change. I love this quote. Eckhart Tolle. Awareness is the greatest agent for change. So right now, I'm making you aware. Right now, you are creating awareness around what is happening in your mind, around some of the self-doubt that you are having, possibly on a daily basis. So you are now becoming aware. Amazing. Great. So now what can you do? I am all about helping you make mindset shifts. And if you recall, mindset it's not going to change the situation that you're in, but what mindset will do is it can change the way you see and react to a situation. So in my episodes, I'm going to be sharing with you mindset tools and activities that you can do right when you're listening, or that you can do afterwards, that are going to help you shift your mindset so that you can start to feel more happy and more fulfilled in life. So we're going to do a little activity right now. So I want you to grab a pen and paper. If you're like me, I've got little journals and books everywhere. Grab a pen and paper, or if you're on the go right now and you're walking around, open up notes on your phone. I'll also share with you a PDF, okay, in the show notes. I'll put a PDF in there that you can download later. So you can just listen to this right now if you want. Maybe you're driving, you can listen to this. Otherwise, if you want to do it in real time, you can open up notes on your phone or grab your pen and paper. So this is where the magic happens. You've created this awareness around the fact that, yes, I do have self-doubt. Yes, I do have negative thoughts that are creeping in. And as I've also made you aware, this is just a fact of life. Everyone has self-doubt. So you are not, some special species that literally is feeling this way and you're the only one on the planet. You don't understand why everyone around you seems so happy, but you're not. Trust me, even the happy people around you, like myself, have these feelings. So we're going to take a moment right now. We're going to reflect on some judgments that you have that are showing up for you. So I'm going to say judgment, self-doubt, interchangeably. So firstly, here's what you're going to do. Grab a fresh sheet of paper or open up notes on your phone and you're going to write this down. I forgive myself for judging myself as. I'll say that again. I forgive myself for judging myself as. And you are going to put in a self-doubt or a judgment that you have about yourself. I'm going to give you an example. So I forgive myself for judging myself as someone who isn't good enough to have the life that I really want. So take a moment and fill in that statement for yourself. Now, I want you to know, like, where could these judgments come from? Now, these judgments can come from many places. So if you are, in fact, someone who isn't feeling good enough to have what you really want in life, that could be because you were always told when you were younger that you weren't good enough, that you were never going to get anywhere. You could be currently told by friends or family, maybe a partner. Maybe you were in a work environment that you were never able to fully succeed because you didn't have a supportive manager or boss. So remember, these things can happen. They can come from anywhere. These judgments, they can come up from upbringing. They can be brought up from a recent situation. So that's okay. We're addressing it now. So step one, your forgiveness statement. So you've written this down. And if you need to press pause, you can always press pause and write it down. So I forgive myself for judging myself as, my example is someone who isn't good enough to have what I really want. Now, if you're using a notebook on a fresh sheet of paper, we're not saving trees here. So on a fresh sheet of paper, I want a brand new sheet, or in your phone, you can space down in your phone. You're going to write, for my new truth is. This is where the magic happens. For my new truth is. And you're going to insert a positive thought. So based off my example before, so I didn't believe, I was forgiving myself for judging myself as someone that is not good enough for what I really want. For my new truth is, I am worthy and deserving of all the things that I want in life. So why are we doing this? Well, in moments where your mind is spiraling, in moments when you have self-doubt, I can tell you right now, if you're feeling like you're not good enough, that is probably not the only thought you have. You're thinking you're not good enough. Then you're thinking, I'm never going to get ahead in life. I'm never going to have the savings that I want. I'm never going to take the trips that I want. I'm never going to get in the relationship that I want. That spiral. So the purpose of this activity and creating a new truth is to break the cycle. Now, you might be looking at your paper, looking at your note right now and thinking, for my new truth is, I don't know what to put. I can't think about a positive thing. So in those moments, think about what a happier and more fulfilled you would say. So me, I am worthy and deserving of all the amazing things that I want. I know that. I am. I feel it deep within my bones and blood and body. I am worthy and deserving of all the amazing things that I want. So here's the thing with this activity is that you may not believe it right now. So you're like, okay, great new truth, Jane. Sounds awesome, but like, that's not me. I don't believe that. I don't believe that shit. Trust me. I didn't believe it when I started either. I didn't believe it. And so this is what you got to do. Repetition. So what I do is every day I write out what my new truth is. I write it out every single day. And then in moments in my day, when the doubtful thoughts come in that I'm just not good enough to have what I want, I take a second and remind myself, nope, wait a second. I created a new truth around this. I am good enough to have what I want. And what does that do? That immediately triggers to your mind a positive thought. The positive thought being, I am worthy. I am deserving of all the amazing things that I want. That positive thought, what's that going to do? It's going to help create positive feelings, even for a split second, versus focusing on that negative and doubtful thought that you had before. So the whole point of this is acknowledging and becoming aware. Awareness, remember, is the greatest agent for change. Becoming aware of the judgments that you have against yourself, forgiving yourself for it. Forgiving yourself. You could forgive yourself because you didn't know any better, right? Like, that's fine. You may have not known things. You're opening your awareness right now. So you're creating your forgiveness statement. You're acknowledging and becoming aware of the judgment that you have so that you can push it to the side, rip it up, take that paper, rip it up, and then focus on your new truth until you believe it. I'm going to give you, before we move forward here, and one last thing, I'm going to give you one more example, another real life example that something that I worked on with my coach on a judgment I had. So I had some serious judgments around failure. So I felt, because I associated success with various things like money, because when I graduated school, I got a job and I started making money, and then I got a promotion and I made more money and I felt more successful. So I had a very strong connection and link between money and success. Now I can tell you, if you're listening to this and you're a business owner, a new business owner, you know that it takes time to build a business. So back in early days of my business, I mean, I've had my business for 3 years. So back a couple of years ago, when I wasn't making money, making a lot of money, or what I deemed as enough money in the beginning, I felt like a constant failure. And so what I had to do was think, okay, so my statement that I did with my coach is, I forgive myself for judging myself as a failure in my business. For my new truth is, so what I did was I reflected on my life, and I reflected on all the amazing things that I had done and accomplished in my life. And I also reflected if I ever failed or when I failed. Of course, we all have things in life that don't go our way. I naturally always see, say, for example, a quote unquote failure, which I don't even like to use that word. So it's interesting. I categorize myself in that way, but I like to see everything in life as an opportunity to learn and grow. So if something doesn't go my way, I can learn a lesson, evolve, and grow. So in the case where I was constantly, daily feeling like a failure is bringing me to a very low place, I created a new truth because I reflected back on my life and I saw that, well, I had never really, quote unquote, failed. Sure, things didn't go my way sometimes, but I learned, I grew, I evolved, I became stronger. So I created a new truth that was, for my new truth is, success is inevitable for me. This honestly was a game changer. I'm not joking. I put it as a screen on my phone, on my lock screen. Success is inevitable for me. So in any moment, and it came up when I didn't get something that I wanted, I was expecting this or that from my business, and it may have not happened, or I just let the self-doubt creep in where I felt like a failure. I said, nope, wait, success is inevitable for me. And honestly, I now believe it. So this works. That's another example. Okay, so lastly, here. So how can you really, so I've taught you now. So the whole point of this episode here is, how can you still feel happy when you're dealing with self-doubt? So how can you still feel happy? Well, you've become aware of it. So now what do you need to do? You need to start enjoying your journey. So instead of constantly dwelling and focusing on those negative thoughts, we need to start getting you to enjoy your journey. And how can you do that? You need to let your mind help you. So take a moment and think, okay, how can I let my mind help me? How can I do that? Well, firstly, you can start leading with a positive thought. Okay. So start thinking when you're going into these spirals of self-doubt, you're going to break that cycle. You're going to start your new truth. You're going to say your new truth, and you're going to lead in your mind with that positive thought. So if you are thinking, I am worthy, I am deserving of all the amazing things that I want, how will you be feeling? Well, you're going to be, if you're thinking you're worthy and deserving of all the amazing things that you want, you're going to be feeling great. You're going to be feeling really great. So what I want you to do, how can you still feel happy when you're dealing with self-doubt? Let your mind help you, girl. Let your mind help you. Start with a positive thought. So when you're going down that rabbit hole, break out that new truth. Now, maybe today you wrote out a judgment that you have. Maybe tomorrow you have a new judgment, a new fear or doubt that's come into your mind. Create a new forgiveness statement. Create a new truth for that new statement. A lot of news there. Do it. I have created like so many over the last few years, so many judgment forgiveness statements and new truths to them, and written them out every single day. So that is what you need to do. I'm telling you, shifting your mindset to feel happier is a little bit of work. It is a little bit of work. And I'm trying to give you the easiest tools that you can use, that are proven, that I use with my clients. The easiest tools to use to start to get your mind to shift, because it is a journey. When I say start enjoying your journey, we got to start, and we got to start with one positive thought. Now, I'm not saying, you're going to be happy all the time. That is not at all what I preach. I don't believe that. It's just not possible. But remember, you can try to maintain the feeling of happiness by starting with a positive thought and by using your mind.